The first UFC event in 2024 will be headlined by the matchup of Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker 2. This is their second matchup. The previous one, I believe, was in like October or whatever, ended to like a doctor stoppage because Ankalaev did like a ground and knee, which is kind of interesting. I don't know how the UFC rules work, so it was kind of confusing. But I mean, normally you'll see guys get disqualified because of ground and knees, but I guess Johnny Walker ended up getting the doctor stop, or at least I don't even know, it wouldn't benefit anybody, so no one benefited from the doctor stoppage. But we are getting the rematch in 5 rounds, which is super interesting because both of these guys have fought in 5-round fights, but their fighting styles is a little bit different. I believe Johnny Walker's last 5-rounder was probably to Jamal Hill when he got KO'd, but when he actually went 5 rounds, I think it was against Thiago Santos. I actually rewatched a little, I skimmed through the fight because not much actually happened in it. However, Magomed Ankalaev has been kind of known. I mean, when he first entered the UFC, he was pretty entertaining. Like, he's getting a lot of finishes. But more recently, when he had like these 5-round fights, he started going to decisions, ended up finishing Anthony Smith, went to a decision with Jan Blachowicz, like more of the higher ranked guys. He's kind of been a little bit more relaxed, kept it more of a, I don't want to say a point fighter, but it kind of feels like that way at certain points. Like, he keeps a really good distance and just tries to win rounds off of these guys and didn't take as many risks. But in this matchup, there's a little bit of bad blood. I believe at the end of their last fight, they started going after each other, but this one's definitely an interesting matchup. This will be an early prediction and breakdown of this matchup, of course. So let's get right into it. Magomed Ankalaev, like I said, is kind of like a, I guess I'll just say him as a point fighter. I don't know if that's being disrespectful or anything like that, but however, he does keep a really good distance on the feet, is pretty technical. The one thing that I noticed from that Johnny Walker fight is that he was able to kind of evade some of Johnny Walker's punches. The big issue that I had with choosing Magomed Ankalaev in that last fight, I don't remember who I picked. I think I did go with Ankalaev off of my memory. That's what I thought. But the thing with Johnny Walker in that fight was he was at a 7-inch reach advantage. So in my mind, Johnny Walker, who's a really big dude, and you saw the size comparisons, he's a lot bigger than Magomed Ankalaev, just a lot taller, a lot longer, and just like mass-wise, he's a little bit bigger than Ankalaev, and it kind of showed more. But Johnny Walker wasn't really able to land too much stuff. Like, he really had to fake an injury, like I won't necessarily say an injury, but like a body shot that didn't do as much. Tried to bait Ankalaev in there to hit him with a flying knee. That was the only way he was able to get Ankalaev to kind of interact with them, try to land a punch on him, because Ankalaev is really good at maintaining distance. The one thing Johnny Walker did do really well was use the leg kicks on Ankalaev. Jan Blachowicz did that pretty well in their matchup, which kind of made that fight a draw because he won those early rounds, was completely tearing up Ankalaev's leg. Johnny Walker was kind of doing the same thing early on before Magomed Ankalaev went for the takedown, got some success there. So that's what Ankalaev has seen against Johnny Walker, is that he is able to get the takedown. Johnny Walker, again, is a bigger dude, pretty athletic, does have some decent wrestling and grappling of his own. So that's a plus for Ankalaev in this fight. He was able to get him down. Johnny Walker has really good takedown defense, was able to kind of just maintain, I won't say composure or anything, but he's kind of able to stay away out of the more dangerous positions that Ankalaev was trying to get him into. Like, he kept his back against the fence, kind of eliminating a potential back take that Ankalaev was trying to get there. So that was early in the first round. This is a 5-round fight, so they are going to have to pace each other. I have seen both of them kind of fight those 5 rounds. Like, we're going to be really technical, really slow. This was a younger Johnny Walker, of course, who was getting kind of clipped by Jamal Hill, or is getting clipped by a lot of dudes because he doesn't have the best of chins. However, a more technical, slow down Johnny Walker in this fight, I don't know if he's going to do as well against Ankalaev. And I think as this fight goes on, I think Magomed Ankalaev is going to prevail a little bit more with his fighting style, with some of the wrestling, with some of the grappling, with some of the more abilities to maintain a really good distance on the feet. I thought Johnny Walker did a really good job maintaining distance on the feet in some of his fights, but Ankalaev does a really good job at not getting hit. The one thing I will say is the leg kicks. I did mention that, of course, in this video already, but the leg kicks are a serious problem for Ankalaev. Like, he does throw them out there against his opponents, but the defense there is not that great. So as this fight goes on, maybe Johnny Walker can implement that a little bit more and take out the legs of Ankalaev, but you saw how that went with Jan Blachowicz, and I think Ankalaev is definitely getting a lot better. So I'm going to go with Magomed Ankalaev by a decision. maybe a super late round submission finish or like TKO, because again, Johnny Walker doesn't have the best of chins. He may be a little bit more aggressive in this fight, which I don't think would benefit Ankalaev at all, but he already knows he can take down Johnny Walker from that last fight. I think he can do the same thing in this matchup as well. He's going to maintain really good distance on the feet, not get hit by Johnny Walker, be a little bit more technical, play that kind of point game with him early on. I think he's going to try and out grapple Johnny Walker, and the size and the Johnny Walker is really going to be an issue for him in this fight, and I think he'll definitely tire out over these rounds, and I think Ankalaev will kind of just, I don't want to say lay and pray, because he did kind of do that against Jan Blachowicz. He wasn't really advancing too much against Jan Blachowicz in their fight, but he's just going to get those points and win a decision against Johnny Walker. I'll probably say 49-46. Maybe Johnny Walker gets a round off of Ankalaev early on where he's just able to outpoint him, but I think in the first or second round, Ankalaev will eventually go for a takedown, make sure he can get it, and then advance off of that, and eventually tire out Johnny Walker. And Johnny Walker is going to try and do some crazy stuff, but again, over 5 rounds, he can't really do what he would normally do in like a 3-round fight where he's super active, tries to do one of those things where he picks a body shot that hurt him and then goes for a flying knee or whatever. I don't think he's going to be able to do that in a 5-round fight where he knows a guy in Ankalaev is going to be able to go 5 rounds and take him to that distance. So I'm going to go with Magomed Ankalaev by decision, 49-46 for the first event of this card. Let me know who you guys think wins down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys.